Well, epilepsy is considered a common condition, but not many people know about it or know what to do in the event of a seizure. In some cases, that could be deadly. This morning, I go on the record with Bella Bauer to talk about the condition that we share, and she describes her experience. This morning, we're on the record with Bella Bauer. Bella participates in pageants and is Miss Southern Heartland's teen, but more so, Bella and I are some of the 3.4 million Americans living and thriving with epilepsy. She joins me here this morning to help reduce the stigma surrounding a very misunderstood disease. Bella, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's just start by, I read your blog, and your blog, The Purple Project, it's epilepsy awareness. You write about your first grand mal seizure and your experience with that. So can you describe what that was like, what you were feeling, and everything that went with that?
So that was a very trying and scary time for me. I remember I knew nothing about epilepsy or seizures beforehand. So when it happened, it was very quick, very scary, and I really just didn't know what was going on. I remember I was sitting in math class getting ready to take a math test, and my teacher was gone. There was actually a sub there for the day. But then I remember my teacher walked in, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my chin just started going up, and I could not control anything at all. And I remember there were kids across from the table from me, and they were telling me to stop what I was doing, and they were like, "What's going on?" I even remember a girl saying that she had thought I had died, and I was like, as a little fifth grader, that's scary to hear, and especially when you don't even know what happened. So I remember that was just a very scary time, and going to the hospital after that. And I remember I was on the floor when I had two teachers, and they were teacher's aides, and they were trying to get me to, they kept telling me, calm down, and I had no control over anything at all. And that's really scary to hear when you can't control your body at all. So I think it could have been handled better in that situation, which also made it more scary. So I remember being wheeled out in a wheelchair, and I was told to hold the nurse's walkie-talkie, and I remember I dropped it at least twice, and because I just could not grasp anything at all. And I just remember there was just so much fear. My class was sitting outside because they had to be taken out of the classroom, and I got wheeled out in front of them, which was super embarrassing too. As a young fifth grader, I didn't know what was going on, so overall just very scary.
What was it like coming back to school for you? Was it more the fear of what your classmates might think, or the fear of having another seizure in front of them? I
would definitely say both, because I didn't know when I would have another seizure, if that would happen again, and that's really scary to just not know at all what could happen next in that situation. But also I remember coming back that next day, and I remember kids were like, "She's back already." I just always remember hearing whispers, and that was always something that I was always thinking about, and it was really stressful during that time. And I even feel my friends kind of treated me differently during that time, and that's why I want to empower kids now to know that, or to treat people better, first of all, because it's so hard, and epilepsy doesn't define someone. And I think that's really what I try to teach the younger kids as well, because it's so easy to think, oh, well, they have that, but everyone's struggling with their own things in general. So I think really learning how to treat people better, because that was a big fear of mine.
What do you think the stigma is surrounding epilepsy, overall, and how can we break that?
I think overall it's just the fear of kind of what people think of you. That's how it always was for me. I was just very scared of what people thought. And again, having another seizure, like you said, that's super scary, not knowing the time when that's going to happen if it were to. And so I think just talking about it more, and also getting into schools, which is what I've been trying to do, and just talking more with kids openly about it so they know what it is, and how I didn't even know what a seizure was. I think it's important that everyone should know what epilepsy is and what a seizure is.
Well, tomorrow we continue our conversation with Bella about her work to educate students and teachers in local schools so fear becomes understanding.